some of our easier negotiations right here.
What kind of position of strength do I have when you've lost weight every week? I can't say anything other than just congratulating you on doing what you need to do to make it happen.
I think you get more reasonable on camera is what happened.
I get very unreasonable when we shut this off if necessary. What I'm seeing right now as I'm looking at these numbers is something that makes me smile. I'm seeing consistent weight loss every single week from the time you began until this very week. And I'm also seeing on week 7, which is this past week, I'm seeing a magnificent 2.7 pound weight loss, which is above your average of 2 pounds. That's discounting week 1. We threw that out because week 1 was 6.5 pounds. And we know that first week, starting a new plan with lower carbs, you're going to lose water weight. So we just threw that out of the average. Your average was 2 pounds after week 1. And this week you lost 2.7. So you busted that average. You almost by close to 50% more than what your weekly average was. So this week, did you do anything different? What did anything happen this week that didn't happen last week? We talked about some recommendations for exercise last week. We also addressed some diet methods to tweak this even more to something that you really enjoy, so that way you can continue losing weight every week until you get to your goal and then maintain for the rest of your life. So what happened? Give me some details on what made this week any different from any other week and how you're feeling about the results that I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see more than 2 pounds. That's really exciting. And
yeah,
I guess the things that stand out, I got 3 days of walking in. You kind of motivated me with the knowing that even 15 minutes was going to do me some good. 2 of those days, this is probably not going to be par for the course, but 2 of those days just happened to be days where I had extended walks, longer than that, probably longer than 30 minutes each day. But yeah, I think I feel like the 15-minute mark, 20-minute mark is definitely achievable 3 or more times weekly, and I think that that's something I'm shooting for as a goal moving forward. What else? I think I could still do better with this, but I tried to be a little bit more mindful about, the weekends. I feel like, I've been mindful to try to really get more strict as we approach the weigh-in at the end of the week. And after that, I want to relax a little bit. So, I've been, this last week, I was a little bit more disciplined right after the weigh-in. I just was super, super motivated, seeing that that for the first time in a long time, being under 240. I wanted to make sure I reinforced that was never going to happen again. So I think that just kicked me into a different gear where I was just a little bit better behaved on the weekend. Not to say I didn't enjoy myself at all, but just was a little bit more locked in on making really strategic decisions when it came to what I was doing from a diet standpoint, and just limiting, things that were off script, I guess. I can't even really remember, but I just, where I would have been a little bit more relaxed, I was just a little bit more cautious, and that was, intentional for that particular weekend. So, I knew that and was conscious of that. So I was hoping to see a result that was better than what the week was prior. And I'm excited to see it, man. I'm super excited to see that it was even approaching the 3 pound mark, which is like really awesome.
It was. It's amazing. I love that figure. If you could, anything in the 2s is as we've already done the math, and we're talking well over 100 pounds a year in a year if you kept up that 2 pound per week number. And 2.7 is just when you stepped on that scale and saw the 335, you're in the middle, because we're talking when you get into the 320s, you haven't been in that territory in forever. Okay, so
I can't even remember
330s.
when.
Yeah, nope. Yeah, you can't even. It's been so long. It's like it's all blur, but we know that the lowest you've been in I don't even say recent memory, but several years ago, you were in probably in the 330s, a couple, 2, 3, 4 years ago, whatever it may be. But it's been much longer than that you've brushed the 320s. But as you were working your way up to 354, which is where you started this plan. So to get into the 320s is going to be something that is just going to be like a life changing for you to be back there, considering how heavy at 354 pounds that you had never been at that level before. So to get down to the 320s is something that you're very excited to achieve. And being at 335 and just so quickly going from the 340s, the low 340s, then to the high 330s to the mid 330s so quickly within 2 weeks. And now you're in the middle of the 330s, and 320 is within shooting distance over the next couple weeks at this pace. So that has to be really exhilarating. Do you think? Do you think? And I'm just posing this as a possibility. I mean, do you think that last week, which is just described, that you got really excited over getting into you were into 330s. You wanted to make sure that you were not going to get back into 340s again. So you were a little bit more disciplined on the diet, and that probably played a factor in getting to the mid 330s. Do you think that you're going to have that kind of inspiration this week to get into the 320s as quickly as you can? Do you feel as if, other than maybe right after this conversation we're having, since it's the end of the week, and I know that you like to take advantage of that to be able to back off a little bit, and I do not discourage that one bit, but I think that if you can meet yourself halfway, in other words, if you normally would loosen up for the first couple days, 3 days, that maybe you loosen up for the first day and a half or something a little bit less, so that way maybe we'll be able to continue with those walks. Maybe we'll be able to continue that 2.5 pounds per week number on a more regular basis. Because it doesn't seem, you correct me if I'm wrong, it doesn't seem like what you did this past week is insurmountable. You didn't go 100% strict throughout the entire week. Is that correct?
Yeah. I would say I was disciplined. I would say I
Mm-hmm.
was disciplined. I wouldn't say 100% strict, but I would say I was disciplined more than I have been. Um, I was more motivated this week than I have been, and more disciplined than I have been on the average week. Just specifically because I really wanted to solidify myself as never touching the 340s again. And that was my main thing. I just want to get away from that forever and know that I'm never going there again. I guess I feel like that's kind of where I'm probably going to be every time we get to a new level, a new decade, right? So, um, and that's why, like, even when I see 329, I'm probably going to be paranoid that I'm going to probably be super strict that week. And so, this probably won't shock you knowing me the way you do. This week is probably going to be not quite as psychotically paranoid. I'm going to be a little bit more relaxed this week, just because I don't think I can necessarily look at things with that intensity all the time. But I do have it in me, because I have more and more grown accustomed to this, and it isn't that this is difficult anymore. This is not a challenge like where it's so insurmountable or so hard to do. Like, once I've gotten into the rhythm of this, it's like I actually look forward to doing the things that are necessary to do this. And I almost like, when I'm in the flow of the week, I take pride in making the decisions. You were telling me this like 2 weeks ago. I take pride in the decisions. I don't think you put it that way, but like you take pride in the decisions that are leading you to the goal. Like I can pass up a tempting treat because I know that what I'm working towards is more valuable than the flavor I'm going to get and the satisfaction I'm going to get from that treat at that moment. So I'm actually adopting that mentality. And, but, at the same time, like I do have this ingrained in me where like I've accomplished, I'm starting to feel like I'm starting to really accomplish things. And I do want to relax a little bit. I do want to have some kind of a celebration, or just like, just let my hair down a little bit, just enjoy and get back on it, And so, but even in that, it's when I do it, it's a lot more. Maybe discipline's a little bit strong of a word, but just it's a lot more intentional and not nearly as out of control and just reckless as I've been in accumulating all this weight. I'm approaching it all differently, and it's really just the whole course is just shifted, and relatively a short period of time that this has happened. I mean, I have to say, prior to us starting to talk on this, I mean, you did a lot of work with me mentally to get me to the point where I was ready for this, to approach this. I needed to be in a good space mentally to do this. And I appreciate that so much. And now, now that I've got the routine of this, I mean, really the biggest challenges and the hurdles after getting mentally prepared for this, the biggest challenges were just getting in the rhythm of what food, and I'm still going to tweak things, and I'm still going to, find that, okay, well, I'm kind of wearing out on this, so maybe I need to switch it up to this next week, right? But finding things that keep me satisfied for a week or two at a time, or 3 weeks at a time, that I can look forward to as my meal and snack, that fit the requirement. Once you find those things and you get a system of how you're going to acquire those for the week, and that's really the hardest part. Now I've got a grocery list. I just plug it into my app, and I've got, I do the online shopping. I hit the button, and I have the bag waiting for me at the grocery store, and I go get it at the same time now every week. I do a takeout order from a restaurant that prepares me, protein source, for basically like 5 meals through the week. I've got, I put the meat in the bag. It's already cooked for me. And it's just, I take it one meal at a time, when I'm ready for it. So it's just figure out how to make it easy on yourself. And that's just, it's almost like I look forward to the process of doing it now. And it's just like, it's almost like a challenge, conquering a challenge or playing a game right now. It's like I'm winning the game. So for me, I'm a competitive person, and that also kind of makes this a lot more palatable. So, yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. It's almost like I've never thought I'd ever say this, man, but it's like I look forward to Friday so that I can weigh in, man. Like, it's ridiculous. I want to get to the scale and see what it's going to say and share it with you. And now, I mean, like when I have good news, I'm just like, I want to share it. I'm excited, man. I've lost almost 20 pounds. I thought I was too old to do this. And like I haven't done this in so many years. It's probably been 25, 30 years since I've played the weight loss game. And you're doing this to me, man. You're doing this. You got me here. Bless you. Bless you.
Well, I mean, you teed up my next point quite nicely, because you said you're a competitive man, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. And I think people need to understand and take to heart that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the reason why this is working so well, in addition to the mental preparation that we did before you ever started this, you and I, is that you having to show up here every single week and reveal the results. And you've been here every week without fail, once a week, every 7 days. You weigh in, we talk about your weight, talk about what you did that week. The process of going through that every single week is what led to you getting invested in the process of what am I doing to get to this goal, of taking of experiencing joy and excitement. And joy may be a little bit too harsh a strong a word yet. I mean, maybe one day, but not quite yet. But to look at the process and everything that you're doing and feel excited about the investment that you're putting forth, um, taking heart that each and every time that you make a decision that is opposite of what decisions that you've made in the past when it comes to what you eat or to take that walk, and knowing that this accumulates at the end of the week into a weight that's lower than it was the prior week, and having done this now for almost 2 months, that the fact that you have to show up here, I mean, you don't have to, you could stop, but the fact that you're showing up here and made that commitment, and that commitment, I mean, I know commitment's important to you. So the fact that you made that commitment, that's why you're doing it. That's why you're showing up. That's why you're here. And that routine of being here and have to share that with me and with everybody else, sharing that with the world, everybody's going to know whether it was a good or bad week. You're going to have to account for it one way or the other. If you have a bad week, you're going to talk about it. You're going to talk about what you did. You're not going to feel good about it because you want to have a good week. You want to share good results. You want to be able to brag about what you did right. You don't want to. You don't want to have
True.
to reveal what it is you did, yeah, what you did wrong. But the fact that you have to come here, you take all that away. Take the accountability away. It's just you and your food, you and the drive-through. What are you going to do? You're not going to do anything differently than you've done in the past. Accountability is so important. People need to realize that if they have a goal that they have to achieve or they want to achieve, and there's something standing in the way, there's some addiction, some compulsion that's preventing them from achieving it, they have to have people in their corner that they can be honest with, and that they can share their struggle with, and that they can remain accountable to, because that's what's going to get them to the finish line. Having other people walking that path with you, which is exactly what you're doing every time you show up here every single week. You have me, you have everybody watching, you have people in your corner, people who want to see you succeed. And that makes you want to succeed because you're able to share that success with other people, with me. I mean, the fact that we have this bond that we build here every single week on this goal, that we're literally invested in this together. It's not just you attempting to lose weight. Now it's us attempting to lose weight together, because you know how invested I am in this.
Yep.
I'm 100% committed, and that makes you feel as if you're not in this alone. And so many people are in this alone, and that is really probably what's standing in the way of the majority of people being able to achieve success when it comes to weight loss, because they are attempting to do this by themselves. They don't have anybody to share it with. They don't have anybody to walk beside them. And in this case, I think it's a perfect example of somebody who struggled, and this is you, who struggled with emotional eating your entire life. And now for almost 2 months, every single week you have lost weight without fail. And you've done it because you have someone to share it with, because you have someone who's walking with you throughout this entire process. And I think that speaks so highly of accountability, and people really need to embrace that if they're trying to achieve any goal in life.
That makes a lot of sense. I agree with you. Yeah. I mean, in a weird way, I mean, I look forward, that part of what I look forward to is these talks and just connecting with you. obviously I like talking with you every day. I can talk to you, but about this, specifically now, it's like I'm excited to share the results with you. And yeah, I mean that really that makes a lot of sense. If I don't have somebody who is invested in my well-being on this level and with this much focus on this particular issue and this topic with me, um, it's just not. It just doesn't do the same thing. And so I have other people that love me, other people that care about me, but nobody to talk on this level about this topic with. So, and you put your whole heart into me, man, and I appreciate it, brother. I do. Like, I mean, I know you've been on and off trying to do this, for,
For the
what,
better
30
part of
years?
my life.
30 years, yeah. So like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you were really on for a while, and like, but I mean, the words you used at the beginning of this, you really kind of also, you really hit home. You talked about, I mean, I'm 11 years younger, working on being 10 years younger than when my dad passed, his age. So like, and so I get it. Like, it's time. This is like, it's either now or never. It's either got to happen now or I'm really asking for it. So I got a lot to live for, and yeah, this is it. Like, I got to take control, and I'm blessed to have somebody like you who not only knows the ins and outs of how to do it, but has love in your heart and love for me as well to help motivate me, guide me, and give me the encouragement to just keep doing this every week. I think breaking it up the way we're doing is important to me. Like, if I were to let this go into longer gaps, if I did this every month as opposed to every week, I think that would be a mistake. Um, I think the weekly is right on the money when it comes to the time frame on things. Um, because like, I'm sitting here talking to you. Like, if I want to relax for a day or so, it gives me motivation. I can get back on it real tight the next 6 days, right? And I got to work myself back to so that when I come back to you, I have good news, right? Otherwise, it's going to be some explaining, and that's not going to be a good feeling. So, yeah, that is a big thing. That's a bigger thing than I guess I've really been thinking about or been real conscious of. Um, yeah, I mean, I guess I would just encourage anybody who is trying to do this. That's really a big deal. That's a really big deal.
Yeah, I think you take away that component, and left to his own devices, somebody who's an emotional eater will continue emotionally eating unless there's something greater that he's trying to achieve. And what's greater that you're trying to achieve is weight loss with somebody who cares about you as a team effort, in order so that we both succeed. Because this is not only your success. When someone else is invested in something that you're doing, you feel as if it's not only your life that's on the line, but it's their life as well. So you're doing this. You're doing this not alone, because alone is very easy to throw in the towel when you're by yourself. Very easy, because who else do you have to look to with who may be disappointed in the fact that you walked away. Well, I mean, you're not looking at anybody. I mean, it's just you. So you have to have somebody outside of yourself that's walking along with you. And the fact that we're here together every single week without fail means that you have to deliver something every week. And the something that you deliver is going to be the sum of the choices that you made the week prior. And emotional eating is very difficult to be able to sink back into if there's nothing that's holding you accountable to something different. And if you didn't have to show up here every week, it would be very easy. Because think about it, you just described, after we have our conversations, how you ideally like to take a day or two to have some fun, Take it easy, back off from the diet, become looser with the rules, so that way you can enjoy yourself, and that's perfectly fine. But if you didn't have to show up here 5 days after that, you take 2 days off, not totally off, but less disciplined, less strict than you would normally be. You got 5 days to be able to produce something to deliver when we meet. Well, if you didn't have to meet, then there would be no reason for you to
Yeah.
have to be consistent at all.
That's true.
And it's very difficult. Now, someone who's not an emotional eater, yeah, I mean, it's very easy to be consistent just because, internally you're pushing towards achieving a goal, and because the desire to eat or desire to deviate is not strong enough to push you away. But if you're doing this by yourself and emotional eating's been part of your life for 40, almost 50 years now, that's going to be a very strong motivator, never ever to stay consistent with weight loss for any significant length of time. But when you have somebody here, when we're talking every week about weight loss, when you have to step on the scale every single week, and you know full well that if we're not doing this, if we're not having these conversations, you're not stepping on the scale every single week. There'd be no reason for you. No, there'd be no reason for you, because you don't want to know. Ignorance is bliss. Absolutely. You don't want to know. Who would want to know? There'd be no reason to know. I mean, even when the pants start, you buy pants that are even bigger than you need, so that way you can start filling in those pants and not even realize it. It's something that you do, you unconsciously, you do everything possible to hide from the truth, because you don't want to look at the truth. You don't want to face the truth. It's just too fun not to. And now you're facing the truth, but you're doing it willfully. You've decided to sign up for this. You've decided to sign up for getting together with me every single week, talking about this, being honest about it, and it keeps it in focus, because now it's not just I eat to have fun, I eat to escape stress. It's no longer that. Now, the majority of your week is I'm eating to weigh less when I step on that scale. That was totally out of your vision. Working your way up to 354 pounds, where you started this journey. So I think it's just so critical for people to have somebody in their corner, somebody who every week they can meet with, they can talk to, about their struggles, about what went right and wrong. Somebody who can guide them, somebody who can motivate them, somebody that they can share this with, they can share everything with, because I think it makes all the difference in the world for so many people. I mean, that's why Alcoholics Anonymous exists, for people who are alcoholics. You got to get together, you got to share. You can't keep it inside, because it's so easy to be dishonest with yourself, to hide things from yourself when there's an addiction that you're trying to defeat. But you bring it out in the open, you have people in your corner, and man, you can beat anything, and you're proving it. Every week you're proving it.
I mean, get your best friend involved is my best advice. Because I mean, just somebody who loves you, who's unconditional with caring for your well-being, who will ride with you, ride or die, just be with you no matter what. And even if you have a setback, they're going to support you, and want their vested interest is your best interest. And they won't let you fail. They just, the worst failure is the best. I guess the only real failure is when you give up. And I guess for the better part of 30 years, I gave up, so I'm done giving up. You got me back, man, to not giving up anymore. I'm back fighting, and I feel good about it. I mean, I'll just say this. I mean, to anybody who might pay attention to this, I'm thinking, doing the math here. I've maybe lost a little bit over 5% of my body weight, right, from the start of this. If I'm doing my math right. I mean, that doesn't sound like much, but I'm noticing, like, moving around is a million times, feeling a million times easier. Getting up and down out of bed, out of a chair. I went to a ball game with my kid the other day. I'm out in a stadium with seats. I mean, before this whole thing started 2 months ago, I would not have dared to step down to the seat below us in the next row. I mean, that would have been like a scary proposition for me. I stepped down on the seat in the row below us, and it was easy. It was easy. I mean, like, I feel like I'm a different person already, and I'm like 5% body weight change. Like, find your best friend, get a goal just to drop 5%, and then once you do that, you're gonna be wanting the rest. If it feels like it's hard, just do that for yourself, man. I swear, like, you're gonna want to do the rest. Just get started.
Yeah, man. Get someone in your corner who loves you.
Yeah,
That's going to be the greatest motivation in the entire world.
I couldn't have
To
done
do
this.
it
I
as a
couldn't have
team.
started this without you, dude.
Yeah, man. I'm just so happy to be here to be able to do exactly what I'm doing for you, because you talked about it. You brushed on it earlier about longevity, and it's so easy to lose sight of that when in the moment it's just so fun, it's so exciting, it's intoxicating to be able to indulge in the foods that are not doing you any good. But in the moment they seem like they're doing you all the good in the world because they're able to give you that escape that you're looking for. And it's so important um, to be able to keep, if you have somebody that you're remaining accountable for, to be able to keep that connection with that person, because that's what it is that keeps that part of your brain, the logical part of your brain activated, because you always have to talk about this. Every week you have to discuss it. You have to look towards that weekly meeting. You have to reveal what happened the week prior. You have to actually tell people how much you weigh every single week. That keeps everything in the forefront. It engages the part of your brain that thinks about consequences. And think about what we're doing. You're actually, as the week progresses, you're starting to think about what it is that's happening in regards to, when I eat this, what's going to end up happening when I weigh in. Should I eat this earlier in the week or later in the week? So you actually have to think about what the consequences are of what you're doing, because now you have some sort of consequence that you have to look towards when you weigh in and when you report what happened that week. Whereas before there were no consequences. So you didn't have to think about what you were doing. You just instinctually, you would grab whatever it is that you desired when it comes to food. But now the consequence is there. What's it going to do to my weight? Is it the right time to eat this, or should I abstain? That it's just so absolutely incredible, the impact that has on what it is that you do in a week. When it is that you actually are able to link those consequences, because you have to talk about it every week. You have to discuss it. You have to reveal what it is that happened, and the weight's not going to lie. You could make up the weight, but I know you're not doing that. I know the weight is what it is. We're actually receiving pictures of
Show
the
you the
scale. I know
scale.
you're being
Yeah.
honest and genuine. Yeah. So I know the number is what it is, and you have to explain it and how it got there. And it's causing you to think. It's causing you to do what you did not do before. What you did not do before was think about what it is that I'm doing and what it is that I'm eating, because there was no consequence. Yes, you were getting fatter. Yes, you were getting unhealthier. Yes, you're going to die sooner by eating that way, but you don't have to think about it, because that's who knows when. We don't have a date on it. That's way in the future. We don't have to think about that now. Just have a good time. But you know full well, when we meet every single week, we meet on the same day. So you know exactly when it is that we have our conversations, and you have to prepare for that day every week to be able to discuss what it is that you did. And you know that the weight is not going to lie. It's going to reveal that something happened that's good or something that happened that's bad. And so far, every single week has been good because you've had a reason to make it good. And I'm just so impressed with the commitment that you put forth, and I'm so happy that we're able to do this together.
Never been more confident this is going to happen, man. I'm going to see under 300 pounds for the first time in like 25 years.
It's going to be incredible.
Before a year's up, man. Before probably like 6 months, right?
Oh yeah, you're gonna get to that. If we keep up with this, you're at 335. So, we're talking 15 weeks, for 16, 17 weeks, 18 weeks, something like that. If it kept up at 2 pounds a week. So, we're talking 4 months, like 4.5 months. And we're in November, December, January, February. So springtime. I mean, imagine that springtime being in the 200s.
That's insane. I mean, I haven't entertained that. I mean, that's what, literally 30 years.
Yeah. It's incredible. It's absolutely a number that when people hear it, they're like in the 200s. We start 354. When you're 354 pounds, 200 anything seems
It's
like
so
you're
good.
a whole new human being, right?
If I'm feeling the way I'm feeling right now, when you take that weight, I'm gonna feel amazing. Like,
you're almost 20 pounds. Yeah, I know. You will. Yeah, I mean, you're already feeling more mobile with 19.3 pounds down. You're feeling more mobile. You're feeling as if you're able to get around easier. You have more energy. So, amplify that now by 3 times. like you're going down another 40 pounds from where you are now. You've gone down to almost 20, so another 40. Yeah, I mean, how are you going to feel when that happens? You're going to feel absolutely incredible is how you're going to feel.
I'm looking forward to feeling that.
Yeah, the other component is we obviously have, in addition to the accountability, you've got a plan that you can each and every week that you can implement realistically into your lifestyle. And I know you inside and out. I know full well I'm not going to be able to give you something that you don't enjoy, that you don't take some sort of ability, some flexibility in to be able to make some decisions throughout the week based on how everything is going, how you're feeling, to be able to loosen up when necessary, the flexibility of making the food choices that make you happy. And I gave you exactly what it is that you needed to be able to make that happen. And that's the reason why. That's the second reason why, in addition to accountability, that you're able to get through every week and you're able to feel good about what it is that's happening. You're able to feel good about maintaining the consistency that you need to get to the final result.
I've found a lot of things already, and I'm continuing to search for more, for things that are compatible with the requirements that you gave me, that actually are enjoyable. And yeah, I mean, you gave me what I feel like is very fair guidelines. I mean, I'm really excited about some of the things that I have to choose from.
All right, brother. So I want to know this next week, since you brought up exercise, not me. I want to know, now that you've actually expressed some mild excitement over the fact that I've given you the latitude of doing, yes, very mild, benign excitement over doing 15, 20-minute walks, something you've done 3 times. You've done walks 3 times this past week. How many walks do you feel that you're going to get this coming week? 15 plus minute.
All right. To play it safe, I'll say 3. And then if I can exceed that, then that'll be a bonus, but I don't want to set myself up for failure.
I love that. That's the look. The fact that I got that answer from you, I give up. I'm not going any further. I refuse to even push for anything more, because that's very ambitious, knowing what it is that you've done prior. So if you did 3 last week, which is your record, because the most you had done prior is 2. So you got up to 3, and now you're saying you're going to do 3 again. I'm all for it, man.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. All right.
Some of our easier negotiations right here.
Dude, how can I? how could I possibly, what kind of position of strength do I have when you've lost weight every week and you lost 2.7 pounds this past week? I can't, there's nothing else that I can do. I can't say anything other than just congratulating you on doing what you need to do to make it happen.
I think you get more reasonable on camera is what happened.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it is. I can get very unreasonable when we shut this off. If necessary, but that's not necessary. You've done what you had to do, and I cannot congratulate you enough for putting forth the effort at every single week, knowing that you get not only showing up here, but knowing that you want to deliver results that both of us can be proud of, and you've done just that, man.
Yeah.
And that's just so. To me, it's just so incredible, knowing what it is to be able to struggle with something and try to overcome it. You're doing it, man. We're doing it together, and we're going to keep doing it. So, congratulations, and I'm looking forward to seeing what next week brings.
Yeah, man. Locked in on by early December. By that first win in December, I got to be in the 320.
All right, bro. Okay. All right, he's making predictions. This is wow, man. So you're where are you? 5.4 pounds away.
That's
5.5 pounds away.
I give myself 3 or 4 weigh-ins, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this week, 4 weigh-ins. Yeah, 3 to 4, right? So you said by the beginning of December, early December, right?
By either the last weigh-in in November or the first one in December. I should be in the 320.
All right, brother.
That's reasonable. If I stay on the pace, I should be good.
Yeah, you should be. You absolutely should be. At 2 pounds a week, which your average is 2.1. If we say 2 pounds a week, it would take you 3 weeks. So that'd be the end of the month.
Yeah.
So this is just tremendous, and I'm happy, man. I am. So
I'm happy
thank
too.
you. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's making me so. I'm just so proud of you, and just every single week that I see these numbers, I get thrilled. I really do. So keep it up, man. Keep it up. Keep it up. We're going to keep walking the path, and we're going to get to that finish line. And I'm excited. The journey's good, dude. We always think of the finish line. We got to get to the weight. We got to get to the 240s. This week to week process is exhilarating. It really is, man, because you're becoming a better version of yourself each and every week. Lighter, healthier, more nimble, feel better. Just everything is in confidence. Everything is just improving every single week gradually, which is awesome.
I think that's part of it that links to the accountability, man. It's just checking in with you every week, sharing the good news. And my boy is sitting here. It's kind of like a mini celebration of the good. This is what I crave every week. I want to give you the good news. I want to share it with people. I want people who it's relevant to. I don't want to go bragging from the rooftop, but people who care, I want to share it with. And I look forward to this part. Like you are, this is where it matters. Every week on Friday, come tell you, share with you, and this is where it matters. If I don't get that reinforcement, that's where, I don't have a reason to share with you, that's where it could fall off. Or if I don't get the satisfaction of sharing with you, then it's like, what's the point? It's all that links together. So thank you for everything, all your encouragement throughout all the process. And yeah, I mean, you got to enjoy the whole thing, everything from every day of it, every week. But I do think the weekly is important. The weekly check-in is important. It's really helping me a whole lot.
Brother, we're born for connection. All of us are. And if we don't have that connection, it's going to lead to disaster. So this is an example of connection, you and I. And the fact that we're connected and we connect every week, and you're sharing everything with me and you're sharing it publicly, the motivation is there because you're not doing it alone. It's a community. It's a bond, the bond that we share. It's propelling you forward. And that's what's going to keep you going each and every week through any rough patches that you may experience. You're going to get through it because we're doing it together. And that's so reassuring. And there's a lot of people out there that don't have that. They don't have a best friend, which is sad. They don't have somebody they can turn to. They don't even, they've gotten to the point where they don't even trust that anyone would care whether they lose weight or whether they stop using drugs or whether they give up alcohol, whatever it may be. They just feel as if it wouldn't matter. So why should I? I may as well get joy out of something in life, because nobody's going to care if I do something different. And that's what people are stuck in, unfortunately. And that's why it's so important to realize that connection first is what's necessary before you can break any sort of addiction. You got to have that connection. And this is an example of it. And this is the reason why everything is going so well and will continue to go well. So I want everyone to take that to heart.
Yeah. Anybody who dealing with what I've been working through all this time and dealing with, and my bad habits, I know a lot of other people struggle with this stuff. I identify with anybody who's had this problem for any period of time in life. So I want to help them. And if, anything I can do to help, I want to help. I'm feeling
Awesome,
like
man.
I can help other people now that you helped me.
That's exactly what I hope. My hope is not, it's amazing. It's a two-pronged approach. Each and every, showing up here each and every week is helping you achieve your goal. And on the flip side, I want you showing up here every single week to help other people achieve the same goal. It's an incredible, that's the type of connection that can transform the world. It's when somebody, like I'm helping you to get to your goal, to be able to transform your life, to be able to live longer and be healthier and feel better. And in turn, sharing that with the world, that allows other people in the same situation that you're in to derive motivation and feel as if I can do it too. I'm feeling like I'm in the same situation as this guy, and I just need to follow the same path that he's on, and I'll get to the finish line as well. And that's going to be a very rewarding experience for you. I can guarantee it.
I know that if I can do this, anybody can do this.
Well, you're doing it, man. I'm telling you, there's no doubt about it. You're doing it. You're going to keep doing it. I have confidence in you. So, all right, man. Next week, same time, same place. I look forward to it. I love you, brother. I love everything you're doing. And you always know that we're doing this together. You're going to keep that deep in your heart. I know you are, because you believe it's true. And we'll be back here next week, and we'll talk about hopefully another 2.7 pounds. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, brother. Nope, no pressure. No pressure.
No, none at all.
None at all.
None at all.
Not at all, man. Love you, brother.
Love you too.
So I guess we're going to start over again, because I didn't hit that little record button. And if I'd gone an hour without noticing that, I don't know if I'd be in such a good mood right now. Let's put it that way.